how to paint your room from start to finish. Okay, first off, wash down the walls. Sinopeso is a good one, takes off all the oils, greases, dirts. If there's any mold present, go with Moldex or any good mold cleaner that's out there. Let the walls dry. I'd say leave it dry for 24 hours if you can, just to avoid any issues with bubbling or moisture issues, and they're quite common. We get a lot of queries of my paint is bubbling or blistering, so I would wash them and leave it 24 hours. Also, you've got dust prevention as well. You can do all your big heavy cleaning and come back in the next day, don't move anything and just hoover around, you're ready to go. We've done our cleaning, the walls are dry. Next up, filling. Get your filler, hole-in-one is excellent. Fill all the little cracks, crevices. Don't be afraid to put on too much filler, because if it's a little bit proud of the wall the next day, you can lightly sand it back. We've done our filling, mask off to protect areas. So mask the top of your door frame, around sockets, skirting boards. The key with the masking tape, a lot of masking tapes are brilliant these days. When you pay the extra couple of euro, Axis Deck or Deltec, they're brilliant tapes. The margin for error is with pressing it tightly onto the wall. Roll down the masking tape and press it very firmly with your finger, or get a nice filler knife and run down the masking tape to make sure it's very well adhered to the wall. You're ready to paint. Start with your ceiling. Everyone has a different technique, but if you start with the ceiling, if there's any splashing, you won't be splashing onto a wall that's just been painted. So I'd start with your ceiling. Super white is a great one, especially if you want to get away with one coat. It goes on, it's washable. Anti-reflex is your super premium. It eliminates the look of the surface imperfections. A lot of our ceilings are a bit contoured and they're not a great plaster job, some of them, so anti-reflex is totally non-reflective of the light, so you can't see those surface imperfections as much. They're two good ceiling paint options. There's loads of good ceiling paints out there, loads of really bad ones as well. Get your roller, make sure and submerge it into the trough where the paint is, get loads of paint on it, and then let off the excess on the grid on the paint tray. When you're painting, get your back to the window is the best, and start rolling this way, head in the direction where the elbow of the frame is. So I'd start in this corner, window to my back, go up and back on the ceiling, and keep going then up and back the whole way down. So again, whenever you're painting walls or ceilings, head in the direction of the elbow. Don't put on too much force, very light force. You want the paint to come off the roller. If you're beating the roller onto the wall, you're taking off as much paint as you're putting on. A big one with DIY painting is we don't put on enough paint and we're putting on extra coats. So don't stretch it out. Do one or two rolls and go back, full lengths, and go back, and again submerge in the trough of paint, release the excess on the grid and go again. The ceiling, I wouldn't cut in around the ceiling. Bring down your ceiling a little bit, no problem, and then cut in with your top coat. So you're only cutting in once. So roll your full ceiling with no issues of splashing. Get your brush and just touch in the corners, edges, and then let that dry, and then use your delicate masking tape a day later. Mask off the ceiling, or just, if you have a steady hand, cut in with your cut-in brush. A lot of people are very comfortable just cutting in along the ceiling edge. It's like riding a bike. The faster you go, the easier it is. So get your good cut-in brush. The cut-in ones by Zebra are excellent, especially for DIYers. They're lovely, soft, synthetic. Don't leave your brush strokes in it. Again, when you come up near the ceiling, if this is the ceiling and I have my paint loaded, I won't go straight in for the kill. Dab a little bit of paint at the edge. Get your brush moving, and gradually, as you get to feel the control of the bristles, gradually move in towards that area and then fastly along it. That's your cut-in with your brush. Cut in around the top of the wall. Just do one wall, stick with one wall, because you want to cut in and then start rolling your paint, be it your lovely Tikkurila paint, your lovely Forma Free. You want to cut in that one wall and then very quickly come in with your roller. Why quickly? You want to work when the paint is still wet. So when you cut in an area around a light switch or around the ceiling, you want to then get in as close as you can with your roller so that you don't notice the difference between your brush work cutting in and your paint work. So keeping that wet edge is of paramount importance. I don't think I've let anything out. That's it then. Paint your walls, leave them dry, and then do your woodwork. Again, there's less chance then of you splashing fresh paint onto your woodwork. So I'd go ceiling, walls, woodwork. Everyone has a different way of doing it. I think that's everything. Any queries, pop us a message and we'll get you sorted. Brilliant.